Welcome to our video on India's top 10 trading partners in 2025. Join us as we explore the countries driving India's economic growth, from China's industrial dominance to the UAE's strategic alliance. Discover how nations like the UAE, Russia, and Japan shape India's trade landscape through energy, technology, and innovation. Get ready for insights into the dynamic partnerships fueling India's global ambitions in this exciting economic journey. 10. Japan. Japan is a key trading partner for India, supplying advanced machinery, electronics, steel, and gold as chemical compounds, while India exports petroleum products, chemicals, and textiles. The trade deficit, partly due to duty-free gold imports under the India-Japan Economic Partnership, reflects Japan's manufacturing prowess. Beyond trade, Japan is a major investor in India's infrastructure, funding projects like 9. Indonesia. Indonesia is an important trading partner for India, supplying critical resources like palm oil, coal, and rubber, which support India's food, energy, and industrial sectors. India exports refined petroleum, chemicals, and metals, with trade facilitated by ASEAN frameworks and a free trade agreement. The trade balance is gradually improving as India diversifies its exports. Indonesia's strategic location in the Indo-Pacific and its role in ASEAN make it a key partner in India's Act East policy, with cooperation in maritime security, trade routes, and counter-terrorism. Historical and cultural ties, rooted in shared heritage like Buddhism and the Ramayana, strengthen bilateral bonds. Indonesia's growing economy and India's expanding market create opportunities for mutual growth in sectors like renewable energy and infrastructure. The Indian diaspora and educational exchanges further enhance ties. This partnership, blending economic complementarity and strategic alignment, positions Indonesia as a vital ally in India's regional influence and resource security. 8. South Korea. South Korea is a significant trading partner for India, supplying electronics, machinery, steel, and automotive components, which are critical for India's manufacturing and consumer markets. India exports mineral fuels, organic chemicals, and textiles, benefiting from a free trade agreement that facilitates market access. However, the trade balance tilts toward a deficit due to India's reliance on South Korea's high-tech goods. The partnership extends beyond trade, with South Korean companies like Samsung and Hyundai investing heavily in India's electronics and automotive sectors, boosting local production. Cultural exchanges, driven by the popularity of K-pop and Korean dramas in India, foster people-to-people ties. Strategic dialogues on technology, 5G, and maritime security align with India's Indo-Pacific strategy. South Korea's advanced manufacturing and innovation ecosystem complements India's growth ambitions, making it a key East Asian partner. This multifaceted relationship, blending trade, investment, and cultural affinity, positions South Korea as a vital ally in India's economic and diplomatic landscape. 7. Singapore. Singapore is a pivotal trading partner for India, serving as a financial and logistical hub in Asia. India imports electronics, chemicals, and mineral fuels from Singapore, while exporting petroleum products, gems, jewelry, and machinery. A free trade agreement enhances bilateral trade, though India faces a deficit due to high-value imports. Singapore's role as a gateway for Indian businesses into ASEAN markets and its status as a global financial center make it critical for investment flows. Indian firms leverage Singapore's infrastructure for regional expansion, while Singaporean investments in India's fintech, logistics, and smart cities drive growth. Strategic cooperation in digital innovation, maritime security, and urban planning aligns with India's development goals. Cultural ties, bolstered by the Indian diaspora, and educational exchanges further strengthen the partnership. Singapore's strategic location and economic alignment with India's Act East policy make it an indispensable ally in India's regional and global economic strategy. 6. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a crucial trading partner for India, primarily as a leading supplier of crude oil and organic chemicals, addressing India's substantial energy requirements. India exports cereals, machinery, pharmaceuticals, and textiles to Saudi Arabia, with non-oil trade gaining traction. The trade balance has historically favored Saudi Arabia due to oil imports, but growing Indian exports are narrowing the gap. Strategic energy partnerships, including joint ventures in refining and petrochemicals, bolster the relationship. The large Indian diaspora in Saudi Arabia, numbering millions, fosters strong cultural and economic ties, with remittances playing a key role in India's economy. High-level diplomatic engagements and agreements on counter-terrorism and investment deepen bilateral cooperation. Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 aligns with India's economic diversification goals, encouraging collaboration in renewable energy and infrastructure. This partnership extends beyond trade to geopolitical alignment in the Middle East, making Saudi Arabia a vital ally for India's energy security and regional influence. 5. Russia. Russia is a significant trading partner for India, with trade centered on energy, particularly crude oil, which India imports in large volumes to meet its energy needs. Russia also supplies fertilizers and defense equipment, including advanced military systems, while India exports pharmaceuticals, machinery, and organic chemicals. The trade balance tilts toward a deficit due to high oil imports, but the partnership is strategically vital. Rooted in decades of diplomatic and military ties, the relationship has grown amid global shifts, with India leveraging discounted Russian oil to stabilize its economy. Russia remains a key defense partner, co-developing systems like the BrahMos missile. Cultural exchanges and educational collaborations, including Indian students in Russian universities, strengthen ties. India navigates global pressures to maintain this partnership, balancing its non-aligned stance with access to critical resources. Russia's role in India's energy security and defense capabilities makes it a cornerstone of its strategic framework, despite challenges in diversifying trade. 4. United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is a vital trading partner for India, primarily due to its role as a major supplier of crude oil and natural gas, which meet India's substantial energy demands. India also imports pearls, precious stones, and metals from the UAE, while exporting gems, jewelry, machinery, and pharmaceuticals. A free trade agreement has boosted bilateral trade, improving market access and reducing tariffs, though India still faces a trade deficit. The UAE serves as a key trade and investment hub, with Dubai acting as a gateway for Indian businesses in the Middle East. Strong cultural ties, driven by the large Indian diaspora in the UAE, enhance people-to-people connections. Strategic cooperation extends to energy security, maritime safety, and regional stability, with both nations aligning on counter-terrorism and economic diversification. The UAE's investments in India's infrastructure and renewable energy sectors further deepen the partnership, making it a critical ally in India's economic and geopolitical ambitions in the Gulf region. 3. European Union. The European Union, as a bloc, is one of India's largest trading partners, with Germany and France at the forefront. India imports high-value goods like machinery, chemicals, transport equipment, and optical instruments, essential for its industrial and technological needs, while exporting mineral products, textiles, machinery, and chemicals. The trade relationship is dynamic, though India faces a deficit due to the EU's advanced manufacturing capabilities. Negotiations for a free trade agreement aim to enhance market access and reduce barriers, promising deeper economic integration. Beyond trade, the EU collaborates with India on climate change, renewable energy, and digital innovation, aligning with India's sustainability goals. Strategic partnerships in defense and counter-terrorism, along with cultural exchanges, strengthen ties. The EU's role as a hub for innovation and investment makes it a key partner in India's modernization efforts. As India seeks to diversify its trade and reduce reliance on single markets, the EU's collective economic weight and shared values make it a cornerstone of India's global strategy. 2. United States. The United States is a cornerstone of India's trade and strategic landscape, serving as a major market for exports like pharmaceuticals, textiles, gems, and IT services, while supplying India with mineral fuels, aircraft, machinery, and optical instruments. Unlike most partners, India enjoys a trade surplus with the US, driven by robust service exports, particularly in software and IT. Beyond trade, the US is a vital ally in defense, technology, and education, with initiatives like the India-US Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology, ICT, fostering collaboration in AI, semiconductors, and space. The Indian diaspora in the US strengthens cultural and economic ties, facilitating investment and knowledge exchange. High-level diplomatic engagements and defense agreements, such as the Quad, underscore the strategic alignment. The U.S. also supports India's global ambitions, including its bid for a UN Security Council seat. This multifaceted partnership, rooted in shared democratic values and economic complementarity, positions the U.S. as a critical driver of India's growth and geopolitical influence. 1. China. India's largest trading partner, China plays a pivotal role in its economy through massive imports of electronics, machinery, chemicals, and active pharmaceutical ingredients, which fuel India's industrial and consumer markets. India, in turn, exports raw materials like iron ore, cotton, copper, and diamonds, but the trade balance heavily favors China due to India's reliance on manufactured goods. This creates a significant trade deficit, a persistent challenge for India's policymakers. Despite efforts to boost domestic manufacturing under initiatives like Make in India, China's cost-effective production and supply chain dominance keep it integral to India's economy. Geopolitical tensions, including border disputes, add complexity, yet economic interdependence remains strong. China is also a key supplier for India's pharmaceutical and tech sectors, with components critical to production. Both nations engage in strategic dialogues to stabilize trade, but India's push for self-reliance aims to reduce dependency. This dynamic partnership, blending competition and cooperation, shapes India's economic strategy and global trade positioning, making China an unavoidable force in its growth trajectory.